myself, would you be able to let that go if, let's say, the phone rang or there was an opportunity that would be an asset and a value to them? Would you still be able to work with them? And the answer is yes, but really on one condition. To be honest, if you want to elicit and get the most out of a talent, I think the more real and near and dear to your heart that it is, the better it's going to come across on the camera or in the arena.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, absolutely.
I know this. I thought to myself, and everything's reality this, reality that. It's, we're so exposed with this business, been so exposed as far as people know it's a work. But still, I think what gets really people really into and pulled into storylines is seeing reality parallels drawn in, because they know that's really stuff that happened that they can incorporate it into work. And, promo, a storyline, and then, of course, the match is really the window dress. It's like the icing on the cake. The match is almost like, it's important, of course, but no one cares if you're not emotionally invested into that storyline, right?
Yeah.
And I asked myself, would I be able to pull from that bag of tricks of that despair and that grief that I felt? Not just that incident that happened with the WWE Hall of Fame, but also just the way that I felt personally treated over the years, even up to that point. I have other stories, and I'm not going to get into those right now. I might even just keep that to myself right now. But there's a bag of tricks there, man, that I can easily pull out from that would make for very, very interesting television. That would bring a very real, authentic, raw emotion about, and so it's like channeling, right? I don't let that consume me. I let it go. I released it. It doesn't affect my life at all. But I am able to compartmentalize it and pull from it if ever called upon, if that makes sense. It's like my nuclear bomb. I don't want to press the button in real life because I'll explode. But if I need to pull from that to channel it for the right opportunity, it's there, man, and it would be very believable, and I think it's ratings, and I think it's money. I really do. And I'm not saying it because it's me. I'm just saying it. That's just how I truly feel. So I don't know. But I look at pro wrestling, honestly, it's weird because I embrace certain elements of the business and with respect. Our brothers and sisters before us, my dad, of course. Just all the great wrestlers over the years. I respect the business. I respect those guys that paved the road. But when you really break it down, Ryan, you look at what it is. It's a bunch of men and women, half naked in underwear, pretend fighting with each other.
That's my favorite quote of yours. I swear, I use that quote all the time. You told me that years ago. At the end of the day, it's a bunch of us pretending to fight in our underwear, which is, in my mind, is one of the greatest pro wrestling quotes ever.
It's I actually got that from Al Snow. and Al Snow probably got that from Head. So see how that works, how that channels there. But no, when he said that, I was like, God, it's so true. It put things in perspective. Like, it's really silly. It's just goofy, silly shit. It really is. And in the grand scheme of life, and as you get older in life, you realize, like, okay, it's entertainment. It's a form of entertainment. It's a very brutal form of entertainment. I respect the bumps, the miles, the money. It's all real. It's not disrespecting the business at all. But when you break it down and put it in perspective, and especially with the world that I've gotten into with some of the, speakers of the world and thought, leaders and voices, right? When you get to the realness of life and, the challenges and struggles that we all go through in life, you look at something like that and go, it's just a ridiculous world, you know? And it's so silly. And to let that affect your life, it's like, come on, dude, you got to get a grip, man. Like, look at the perspective of this whole thing. So that's why I'm able to let that go. Finally, I don't have it. For years, though, I had it hanging over my head. It bothered me, and I've come to grips that I will probably never step foot in a wrestling ring again. And you know what? I'm cool with that, man, because I did my best. I knocked at the door. I pitched ideas, but it's all about timing. I know that Vince liked the idea of the comeback story to make history, and which can still be made, by the way. I'm surprised it hasn't been made yet. There's never been a father-son duo, right, in WWE history to win the WWE Championship ever. And I don't think so. Has someone done it yet, right? I don't know.
No, that's never been done.
Yeah, so it's still there. It's still a piece of history. And the fact that it's still there every once in a while, I'm like, I'm such a mark for nostalgia and history and I love that stuff, right? And I'm like, damn, it's still there. And I'm like, dude, you're 260 pounds, you're in great shape. Now you're really full of piss and vinegar. You got a whole different bag of tricks. Like, this would be a completely different Shawn Stasiak anyone's ever seen. But unfortunately, I'm viewed upon, I think, up there as, not that I was out of control, but I did some stupid shit and, inadvertently pissed some people off. I was very insecure, and, I just lost my dad not too long prior. So I think I put on a tremendous amount of pressure on myself, and when you tend to do that, it's kind of like you buckle and fold and kind of start choking. As much as you don't want to screw up, you end up screwing up more because you're trying too hard.
Well, especially at a young age. At a young age, especially, I think. No one's ready for that. At 22, 23, 24 years old, you're still just finding yourself.
But Ryan, I was actually older. I got started later in the business. I was 27 when I first started, so I was a little older, but still, I was still a young man, and I just didn't do. Looking back now, I can see why I created some heat, But most people, including the boys, the locker room, and even a lot of the office people, they know that I always had good intentions, and I just don't think politically I just had the right people pulling for me or supporting me. If I just had that love and support and felt that, because ultimately I think I was looking for WWE as kind of like a family, man. Like, I lost my mom at an early age. I lost my dad, right before I got an opportunity to train with WWE. I do have a step mom and sister, that I love, but I don't talk to them much. It's just the way that, distance and time is just kind of one of those things. I've just been kind of a lone wolf, and I haven't been married. I don't have kids. It's like, it's an interesting deck of cards, and it's one of those things where, and I could have been, I just chose not to for my own reasons, and, that's a whole different story. That's stuff I get into with my speaking about, wrestling with loneliness, My theme is wrestling with, what are you wrestling with? You're wrestling with fear, you're wrestling with finances, wrestling with ego, wrestling with your age, wrestling with health, fitness, wrestling with loneliness is a big one. A lot of people wrestle with loneliness. And I kind of looked at the WWE when I first came aboard. I had just lost my dad, and I think being around, guys like Pat Patterson, Jack Lanza, even Vince. I remember Vince, when I was at the headquarters there in Stanford working out at the facility, I would go there after our training during the day, maybe, go home, have a meal, rest up a bit, and then I would go back and train. I had a little fob, a key to get into the garage and get into the workout facility, and I sometimes walk in and surprisingly see Vince. Not surprisingly, because he's a maniac who was working out, but there's Vince, and I always, it's weird, I felt like this gravitation towards, like, you felt like almost like a father figure, and so you're hearing these stories about your dad, and these are grown men that are around your dad's age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, but right around that, that era, and I just, I don't know why I started going down this path when I started talking about this, but I think we're talking about, family and being alone. And I think for me, I think I just wanted to feel accepted and be brought into the WWE family